Hello there, and welcome to Speaking Life, the podcast where I share my thoughts and talk about the things I like and inspire me to become the best version of myself each and every single day. I'm your host, David D. Petshower, and I'm feeling much better as opposed to the last time that you heard me. Aside from me having to blow my nose occasionally, I'm feeling great. I don't have a sore throat. My headache feels completely gone. I feel much more willing and able to do things such as recording audio for this podcast. And for today's episode, I'm doing something special. 2024 is behind us. The year is completely over, and what a year it has been. For me personally, it was rough for a lot of reasons. However, in the midst of these struggles, I found multiple things that brought me joy and kept me enduring life. I would like to share said things on this episode. And what's more, I'm thinking about making an annual series with this idea. Before we begin, though, I want to lay down the groundwork for how this is going to go. First, these things in question can be anything, from games to people to shows to books to something as small as quotes or food. As long as they're something I like, they have the opportunity to be featured here on this list. Second, these things won't be mentioned from worst to best. I don't have a particular favorite thing, but I try to put these things in an order that seems logical and free-flowing with minor hiccups. Third, I'm thinking that as the years go by and I make this an annual series, the amount of things that I have quite possibly will vary. This year I have 11 things. Next year, perhaps I'll have 10 things. Maybe the year after that, I will have way more than 11. Or perhaps I'll have 5. Lastly, I will not go in depth about each individual thing that I have featured on my list. Of course, I will talk about each thing a little bit, but don't expect a 10-minute rant about one particular thing. Otherwise, I think I would be here talking for pretty much all day. But if you want to hear a more in-depth perspective about something, you can leave a comment under my YouTube video or message me at dark_void_15 on Instagram. If I see a majority of people wanting me to explore a certain subject, then I'll add it to my list of ideas to create episodes with in the future. With that, I believe that all the bases are covered, so here you are. These are my favorite things of 2024. Kicking off this list is a meme. Yes, you heard me, it's a meme, but it's not just any meme. This is the one and only Chill Guy meme. For those of you who are unfamiliar, the Chill Guy meme features a dog character with a human body wearing very casual clothing. Accompanying the character are a few sentences describing a situation. Typically, the sentences feature the phrase, "I'm/you're just a chill guy." Honestly, I really like the vibes that this meme presents. While this meme is no exception to witnessing some jokes that can be a bit over the top, the Chill Guy to me represents the sensation of moving forwards in life, not getting too stuck on any one thing. For example, I'm currently seeing a picture of a meme that reads, "When you fall on every trick, but you're just a chill guy who knows it's the only way to get better." Here, the Chill Guy character is present with a skateboard and is a bit bruised with some bandages on his face. To me, this meme features an underlying message of determination, where you get back up when you get knocked down, continuing to move forwards, living the best life that you can. Heck, the Chill Guy is so iconic he even has his own theme song. which is Hinoki Wood by Gia Margaret. Memes aside, it's a beautiful song to listen to, featuring beautiful piano and atmospheric synths. Writing this section of the script, I was listening to this song, which helped me focus on my writing for a set period of time. Seriously, I have found that looking at Chill Guy memes and listening to the Chill Guy song puts me in a great mood. Something else that often relaxes me is playing video games. And I must mention one such game right now. Kingdom Hearts Final Mix for the PlayStation 4 is an absolute treat to play. Originally released in 2002 for the PlayStation 2, Kingdom Hearts is an action role-playing game that follows a simple premise. You play as a 14-year-old boy named Sora. His friends Riku and Kairi have mysteriously disappeared, and it's up to him to find them, all while slashing away at forces of darkness with a mysterious yet powerful weapon called the Keyblade. During this adventure, Sora meets Donald and Goofy, as in Donald the Duck and Goofy the anthropomorphic dog from Disney. The three set out on a very memorable journey, traveling to multiple worlds in the process while meeting many more Disney characters in Tarzan, Ariel, Aladdin, and more. If you're familiar with the Final Fantasy series, this game also features characters such as Leon and Aerith from Final Fantasy 8 and 7 respectively. Now, as of recording this, I have not completed the game yet, but I definitely will. And there's a good chance that I'll talk about it here on this podcast when that happens. Something rather noteworthy happened when I was playing Kingdom Hearts. As I progressed through the story, watching Sora and the gang interact with each other, something stirred within my soul. I didn't know what it was initially, but I felt warm, for lack of a better word. One day, I took the time to notice this feeling and attempt to dissect what exactly it was. After some time, I concluded that this feeling was nostalgia. It's strange though. I didn't get Kingdom Hearts until 3 years ago, and it wasn't until this year that I actually took the time to sit down and enjoy what it offered to the fullest. Playing Kingdom Hearts made me yearn for those times, when times felt easier to live in. This year, I've had to endure some of the most difficult hardships that I've ever had to face. In my attempt to alleviate my emotions, I've spent some time trying to find more of this nostalgic feeling, to remember who I was and what I liked. During my search, I found myself on a website called archive.org. And I found something that unlocked some core memories that I buried deep within me. I saw that Archive.org had seasons 1 through 4 of Digimon Digital Monsters. If you're not familiar, then here's what it is. Digimon is an animated series that was originally released in 1999 as Digimon Adventure in Japan, before a dubbed series was released in America, titled Digimon Digital Monsters 1 year later. Each season alters a bit in terms of story and main characters, but the premise is identical. A group of kids befriend digital monsters called Digimon, or in the case of Season 4, they literally become the Digimon. They work together to save worlds from forces of evil. Digimon are kind of like Pokemon, if it wasn't obvious enough from the name. However, the Digimon live in their own world, simply called the digital world, instead of them living with humans like the Pokemon. I'm not going to talk about each season individually because that would probably take a while, but I would like to mention that revisiting this series was incredible. I learned a lot from watching this show, and I can't believe that I almost forgot the memories that I had. This year, I almost always had a full smile on my face rewatching some episodes, If you wish to watch Digimon's English dub, then head to the website that I mentioned earlier, which is archive.org. Again, it's such a wonderful show, and I am so glad that I remembered it. When you recall memories that were once dear to you, it can strengthen the sadness of living life and what it means to grow up. Growing up can be a lot of things. Two words that can describe this phenomenon are hard and painful. Nobody realizes that better than Yuki Judai, the main protagonist of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Allow me to back up for a minute. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a trading card game that has been around for 25 years now. It is a very popular one at that. Over 10,000 unique cards have been made for the game, with about 35 billion with a B cards sold worldwide as of January 2021. So who knows how many cards have been sold since then. But this card game has an intriguing origin. It was based off of a manga created by the late great Kazuki Takahashi. The manga, also named Yu-Gi-Oh!, featured several games, including a card game called Duel Monsters. Over time, the manga, which would later feature an anime adaptation, would focus primarily on this card game. Soon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Rose in popularity, both with the show and manga, as well as the card game. GX is the first spin-off of the original series, and I must say, I was very impressed by the story it told. It features a boy named Yuki Judai, or Jaden Yuki if you watch the English dub, and his time in Duel Academy, which is a school that teaches students how to play the card game. Yes, that sounds silly, but beneath the ridiculous plot is a powerful message. I'll go more in depth on Judai's adventure in its own episode, but for now, I'll just say that at first, Judai is an innocent, happy-go-lucky kid who always enjoys playing. However, as time progresses, his personality shifts as he realizes that life isn't always fun and games. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX provides a memorable adventure that I would strongly recommend to anyone. One aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX that makes it outstanding to witness is the music. I'm talking primarily about the Japanese subbed version of GX, though the English dub is great in its own right. As each episode begins, an opening plays that features a unique song. There are 4 songs total, and there are 4 seasons to GX, so that's one opening song per season. There's one opening song that I have been listening to a lot this year. It's called Teardrop by the Japanese group Bowl, B-O-W-L in all capital letters. It opens Season 3 of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, which I think is the best season, because that is where Judai's character really begins to undergo a major personality shift. Personally speaking, I found myself being able to relate to the song lyrics a great deal, which tells the story of someone who struggles to maintain a bright attitude, heavily affected by an overwhelming sadness. Everything about this song is amazing. From the lyrics, to the guitar, to the amazing bass lines, to the supporting percussion. I've known about this song for years now, but it's not until this year that I've truly come to enjoy it, thanks to my own personal experiences. Speaking of music, I need to talk about 2 very important tools that really helped in advancing my musical journey. The first is something called the Circle of Fifths, which is a very handy tool that shows how keys relate to one another. First, allow me to back up a bit in case you don't know how music works. A key is kind of a home base for a piece of music based on a scale. This base can be described with many adjectives, but the most common and fitting terms are that keys can be major or minor. Although I dislike using this description, a major key is generally described as happy sounding, while a minor key is described as sounding sad. A fifth is an interval which in music terminology describes the distance between 2 notes. A fifth interval describes 2 notes where one note is 5 steps up in a scale. Typically, at the top of the circle is the key of C major/A minor. If you go 1 step clockwise, you will find the key of G major or E minor. The circle of fifths can be used in order to identify certain keys, but this tool has uses that are less obvious and more useful than that. My philosophy on music has shifted a bit, partly thanks to this tool. I use this tool as a reference when I'm listening to chord progressions. And as I see chords change, I see patterns. I don't see a linear progression, I see a circular motion that makes movement in music make sense. I realize that there are people that may not know what I'm talking about, and that's okay, because I plan on making an episode about the circle of fifths and how it's helped me somewhere down the line. One other thing that is just so cool to visit is this website called Music Map. This could very well be one of, if not my favorite websites that I have ever visited. In order to progress my skills as a musician, I concluded that it wasn't enough to just play as much music as I could. I wanted to take things a step further. Why exactly did some music sound differently than others? How did music turn out the way it did? In my quest to find the keys that open the doors to this knowledge, I found Music Map. This incredible work was created with over 7 years of research and over 200 sources as references. It displays the complete genealogy and history of popular music. Supergenres are split into smaller genres of music, and Music Map provides not only the characteristics of a genre, but also sociological and historical features of it. What's more, I really love how simple the wording is, making it easy for anybody to be informed. However, my absolute favorite feature of Music Map is how it connects all genres. Music Map details how each genre is related, which influences which, and even which genre serves as an antithesis to another genre. Seriously, this website is absolutely outstanding, but please do not just take my word for it. Take the time to explore it yourself. Throughout my life, I have never considered myself a huge fan of sports, partly because I wasn't really athletic enough to do well in them. Basketball, though, was different. I still didn't want to play the game myself, but there is something about it that I was captivated by. Maybe it was the rise of Stephen Curry, maybe it was the iconic 2016 NBA season. I also played a lot of NBA 2K13 and 16, but still, I was a casual fan of basketball. However, this year, I've immersed myself a bit more in what's going on in the NBA, and I must give part of the credit to the Last Dance documentary series. Released in 2020, it is a 10-episode series that features Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. It places a strong focus on the 1997-1998 NBA season, where the Chicago Bulls are looking to get their 6th NBA championship in 8 seasons. However, throughout this journey, the series sprinkles in portions of Michael's career until this point in time. While there are some iconic highlights, such as Michael Jordan giving the 1986 Boston Celtics a run for their money, the shot against Cleveland in 1989, or the shrug game in the 1992 NBA Finals, those highlights, although incredible to witness, aren't the main focus here. The series pulls back the curtain, featuring footage outside the court that you may not be aware of. For me, it was those moments that really stood out. For example, the series did a great job of showing the struggles Jordan faced with his larger-than-life presence and the pressure that he regularly faced on and off the court. It's also not just Michael featured here. We must mention the supporting cast in the form of the rest of the Bulls team, notably Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and Phil Jackson. These people bring something unique to the unfolding journey that, when brought together, creates a tale of determination, success, downfall, struggles, and unity. Even if you're not a sports fanatic, I guarantee that you can sit down and enjoy this fantastic documentary series. Have you ever imagined what would happen if Attack on Titan and Stranger Things came together and had a baby? Me neither. But honestly, I think I played a game this past year that might be that baby. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is a game developed by Vanillaware and published by Atlas. It was released exclusively in Japan in November 2019 and the rest of the world in September 2020, winning the Game Award for Best Narrative. This game is split into two main parts. First, there is the 2D side-scrolling graphic novel adventure part, where you can play as one of 13 protagonists. Each story features some great moments, but the storytelling takes things a step further. Each story is intertwined. At first, I had so many questions about the plot, but oftentimes they were answered by me later playing through another character's story. It reminds me of Stranger Things, where everyone's story sooner or later comes together in a fantastic way. In terms of Attack on Titan, I am reminded of that anime thanks to the constant intrigue and incredible plot twists. However, 13 Sentinels isn't entirely a sci-fi graphic novel. It is also a real-time strategy game. You see, the 13 protagonists can do something pretty cool, and that's summon huge mechs, and they must use these mechs to destroy the Deimos, an enemy alien force that is attempting to destroy the world for unknown reasons. On a battlefield, you control a maximum of 6 mechs at a time, with each mech being one of 4 unique classes. From there, you take down waves of Deimos, traversing around the battlefield and utilizing unique attacks. You have to be smart about how to battle, especially during the later stages where enemies get more durable, deal more damage, and increase in numbers. You need to think about where you'll move or what attacks you'll deal. It's a good combat system that kept me engaged through and through, even during my moments of frustration and exhaustion. This game has everything, from mechs, to romance, to time travel, to government involvement, to even talking cats. What's more, I feel like it is so underrated. I don't hear anybody talk about this game. So please, pick this game up and play it. You will be in for an incredible adventure. Angel Beats. My goodness, what a roller coaster of an anime. Released back in 2010, it is a 13-episode series that is set in the environment of a high school. But it's not just any high school. It's high school for those living in the afterlife. A man named Otonashi wakes up at the school not having any recollection of how he arrived here. He meets a girl named Yuri, who has a large sniper rifle scanning the field in front of them, as she explains to Otonashi where he is. Yuri is the leader and founder of the Afterlife Battlefront, an organization consisting of other students. Their objective? Rebel against God for their unfair circumstances that they endure living. They do this by aiming to take down somebody named Angel, who is the student council president of the Afterlife School and who is believed to be an associate of God. Yes, I know. Already, this anime sounds completely ridiculous. And it definitely is. But that is what makes it iconic. At times, the anime gets serious, but other times there are moments that are completely hilarious. A lot of the characters are down to earth and lovable. Even the characters that don't get a lot of screen time have their own memorable moments. Now, according to some sources that I read online, this anime was originally supposed to have 26 episodes, but producers chose to cut it down to 13. And I believe that it was because of this decision to cut down on the number of episodes that particular problems arose. For example, there are some pretty big plot holes here. The ending has probably the biggest plot hole, but even with that in mind, I love this anime. If you decide to watch it, please keep tissues at your side just in case, because there are emotional moments. I am not ashamed to reveal that the ending, regardless of the huge plot hole, it left me in tears. Now, I am about to talk about my final favorite thing of 2024. sticking to the topic of emotional things, I am diving into the world of professional wrestling for this one. I admit that is a crazy change of topics from anime to wrestling, but I don't care. I love professional wrestling. That is a topic for a whole other episode. Since 2012, professional wrestling has influenced my life greatly, although in more recent years, my engagement, has dwindled in comparison to my early years. However, my love for witnessing this art is still there. Because of this love, I have witnessed many moments in wrestling. Some are memorable, and some not so much. Some moments are great, others are terrible. For this list, though, I want to share one such moment that was absolutely legendary, and one that I will remember for a very long time. This is the journey of Cody Rhodes. September 26th, 1977. It is the American Dream Dusty Rhodes versus superstar Billy Graham for the WWF Championship. Dusty Rhodes wins the match, but he won by countout. The champion's advantage is that unless stated otherwise, he won't lose the title by disqualification or countout. Therefore, Billy Graham was still the champion. Throughout his career, Dusty Rhodes received numerous shots at the WWF Championship, but he was never successful, the championship belt always eluding him. Dusty was still an iconic figure in the wrestling world. He was one of the best in the business during his time as an active wrestler. Dusty still had numerous accolades in his name. However, something was missing. The WWF Championship was missing. Fast forward to 2022, and Dusty's son Cody would return to WWE after 6 years. I say return because Cody had a previous tenure with WWE from 2007 to 2016. Cody left WWE after numerous frustrations during his time there. However, Cody was back, and he stated his intentions loud and clear on the April 4th, 2022 episode of Monday Night Raw. Cody was back to win the WWE Championship that his father couldn't quite grasp decades ago. To quote Cody Rhodes, he was here to finish the story. April 7th, 2024. It is the main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania 40. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at the Lincoln Financial Field. Cody Rhodes is competing for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship against the most dominant champion in modern WWE history, Roman Reigns. Roman has held the championship for 1,316 days. The match from start to end is a nail-biter, full of moments where it looks clear that Roman will keep his title, but in the end, Cody nails Roman with a trifecta of his signature move, the Crossroads. He goes for the cover. The referee counts 1, 2, 3, and we have a new champion. The atmosphere is electric, filled to the brim with joy. Cody Rhodes defeated Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes won the championship on the grandest stage of them all. Cody Rhodes won the championship that eluded his father. Cody Rhodes finished the story. If you have made it to this point, then a massive thank you is in order. Seriously, thank you so much for listening to this particular episode of the Speaking Life podcast. Between the music selection and me choosing the topics that I want to talk about for this episode and me actually talking about those things, I can most definitely say that this was the most time-consuming episode that I've ever created here on this podcast. So again, thank you so much for listening to this. If you're interested, you can follow me on Instagram at dark_void_15. You can check out my YouTube channel at Dabito Plays Music. or my name, David D. Petshower. And also, this podcast is on Spotify, so you can consider subscribing and be notified so that when another episode is released, you'll be immediately notified. But again, thank you so much for listening. Take care of yourselves, and I'll speak with you guys in the next one. Thank you.